So, as Madam briefly introduced, I'm Dr. Ladin Haruna from IOE Nigeria National Center. I'm in charge of the smart classroom in the center. I offer technical support to the center. So basically, today we are going to look at creating AI-driven educational resources. So I think one thing maybe we'll start from here. We need to answer this question, even though I don't know how we might see the question. How should I use AI? I think this is very vital, especially in the 21st century, where we are opportune to be exposed to the application or the usage of artificial intelligence. So I think maybe this is where we need to stand. How should I use AI? We can use the chat. If you want to hear this one. Are you with me? So let's respond via the chat. How should I use AI? Oh, wow. That's why I say you should use the chat. You can respond. Salute to just respond via chat. So I'm completely aware you are muted. Okay, to enhance productivity. That's the response. Yeah, you can type your response. Salute. Okay. So at least enhance productivity to make things easier and faster. Okay, I think to sharpen ones, improve the workflow. I think all these are good response, but basically this leads us to this because how should I use AI? Basically come with two basic questions. How certain am I that AI can produce a high quality response? How sure are you? And how high is the risk if it doesn't? Because these two questions, I think that's why the center include the ethical use of AI in order to guide people on how to use AI responsibly. So if you can answer this question, it means you are perfect and you are good to start. Because basically, a lot of people have the fear of adopting AI. Basically, they don't trust what the content of AI. Some believe that AI decreases creativity. Some believe AI is trying to is making people to become blue. But however, the person that got the best result, the person that will get the best result from AI is the person that has the highest level of creativity. Because the more creative you are, the more you generate a good prompt and the better you get a response from AI. So basically, people have this fear in terms of quality, even how correct is the content being generated by AI. So, so this issue of the risk if the content is not good enough. So how do I become presented to the world? So stop a lot of people using AI. So if you can able to address these two questions, it means you can basically use AI responsibly and you can in turn increase your productivity. And we should also note that it's not AI that will replace our work, but the people that use AI responsibly that will replace or in our place of works. So these are the basic things that we intend to look at. Understand how AI can support teaching and learning, look at some basic tools to develop educational resources, and learn to create slide, assignment, and grading reviews. So like a little bit, we can, let's just look at the foundation because everything, please, a minute. Yes, please. So, uh, so everything has to do with what we call large language models, which basically is like it behaves as an AI systems that are basically trained on large data set of tests to generate human-like responses. Basically, so the capacity, they has the capability of generating content. They can you can use them to edit. Like now, if you are trying to like a rate later a formal application, at times you have the fear of like after writing you have to go through and check grammatical errors and rest. So with AI, you can just draft your content and say AI to edit for you. You can also give AI or a large language models a brief of what you want to do, and it develop a full content proposal. And again, if like a teacher gave you a large text to read, so you can ask AI to summarize. So all these are capability, and also it has the capability of generating graphics and slides. So basically, these are some things that you can do with large language models. For instance, now if you look at this, basically the whole large language models behave as a system. It means it has an input, it has an output, and the central part is the processing. So if you look at this figure, so this figure was actually generated using a copilot. Basically, we use copilot to generate this figure. It's not that any figure that I see online. Just ask AI system to like uh, develop a framework of a large language model. So it give you like it has an input part which is called prompt. And prompt is the most important aspect with respect to the kind of result you can generate from any large language model that you are going to use. How well you craft your content determines the kind of response you can get from that large language model. People can accent it, but in different format, and the system is going to generate different results because everything depends on the user input, and that user input is what is referred to as prompt, and it's being called prompt engineering. So people need to understand how should I structure my prompt to get a good response. So that's the input. Then the output part is where you generate responses which can come in textual, pictorial, and other formats. The in between, the back end, based on what happens in order to get your results. If you remember, I always give this example because this will lead us to be able to like have an open minded to accept AI. Then, when scientific calculator was invented, science teachers from secondary school went on the road to demonstrate that they don't support students to use scientific calculator because they believe it's going to make people dumb. But as today, nobody is talking about scientific calculator because we come to realize that scientific calculator is one thing. Knowing how to use scientific calculator is another thing. So a lot of people basically use, some students basically use scientific calculator as just normal, like market type calculator, just to add, subtract, and rest. And they don't even explore the much of the functionality of the calculator. So basically, you see, is you having this calculator is one thing, but knowing how to use it is another thing. So the same thing with AI. Large language models are there. They are designed to assist, guide, improve, learn, and do a lot of things. But however, the caveat is you should always try to verify, checkmate the kind of response you receive from AI. So why do we need it in education? As based on some response, somebody says he needs AI to save time, especially in academia. We need to save time in general lesson preparation. So it's sort of like bringing 10 textbooks, trying to generate content. Okay, why don't I use a large language models, refer him to the DOS textbooks, or if I have the PDF version, just upload and ask the AI system to generate content strictly from the material I uploaded. So it can be used to improve structure and clarity of materials. It also be used to create visual and interactive content, because basically whenever you're producing material for teaching, you need to make sure your resources are inclusive. Inclusive says that some students learn from visuals because they stay longer in their memory. So people basically focus on audio. Some people focus on visual. So you have to like see how to balance between the kind of student you have in a class. So you can adapt from materials for different levels, and use STEM. It can be able to like generate. You can use it to generate exercises at times. If you like, you have a material, you want to generate text or an exam question, you have to sit down and think the kind of questions you can generate. But with AI, you can just ask the system to create like 10 scenario questions. 10 scenario questions means these are questions from materials. But however, they are not questions that ask you what explain. They are basically scenario questions. You can also ask the system to ask questions based on Bloom's taxonomy, evaluate, analyze, generate, and the rest. So basically, you see, it helps a lot in situating the kind of content, the result we can get, and the thing that we want to deliver to students in a simple manner. So these are some of the examples of AI tools for slide development. You can use Microsoft Copilot or PowerPoint to develop slides. You can use Canva AI or Slides AI. You can use ChatGPT for content ideas and slide text. Tips like you can use the term generate structured outlines automatically. So get visuals, diagrams, and layout. Save time while maintaining clarity, because at times it's better to ask any large language model to recommend or suggest the kind of videos that you can add to your slide than giving it the right to generate. Because basically at times the content, the pictures it may insert, it may not be fit to the content on that slide. Because basically, so at times you see students when you do an assignment and they have to do presentation, they will now stand in front of you making presentation. The visuals they put in the slide does not correlate with the content on the slide. So basically, that's misqualification. So AI system at times don't tally those kind of things. So it's better at times to give recommendation and try to create the visuals to do that. So basic tools people use for educational generation, DeepSeek or ChatGPT, the Copilot, and the Canva AI. These are tools like DeepSeek and ChatGPT. They are used for text generation. At least you can give a command for creating lecture outlines and some examples as questions and rest. If you want content organization, then it means you can look at tools like Notion AI, which as educators in drafting notes and organizing content. It's also good in summarizing meetings. For instance, if you have access to Notion AI and you are in a meeting or you are the schedule of the minutes of the meeting, so you can enable Notion AI, which will accept audio, content, and generate a summary of the meeting. For visual slide design, you can leverage Canva AI, which helps create visual appealing presentation slides, improving the overall quality of lecture materials. So these are some practical case story. For instance, ChatGPT, you can use it to generate lecture outline. So for instance, simple prompt create a detailed lecture outline on introduction to robotics for undergraduates. Canva AI design slides. Use Canva AI to create a slide on types of robots. Notion AI draft notes. Generate concise note on applications of robotics. Napkin AI. This one has to do with generation of visuals like mind maps. So it's if you have idea, you want to generate a visual to display those ideas. So Napkin AI is a good one to start with. So how do I generate lecture outlines? Step one, always start with the course title. Yeah, introduce course title. For example, Introduction to Robotics. Then you have to give context. This lecture or the outline you want to generate is for which category of the students. You need to define duration and the kind of outcome you expect. Then the final one, you ask the AI to generate an outline, and this is a sample. Generate a 3-module lecture outline for Introduction to Robotics, including learning outcomes, objectives, and working activities. So basically, for instance, now, if I carry this guy, say copy, and let's say this is GPT, I know there are some basic component that we need to like explain, like say maybe act as an expert and blah blah. So we're not going that way. So let's just give this and say, okay, we just need this to generate a lecture outline on introduction to robotics and include objectives and weekly activities. So we say below is a clear undergraduate friendly lecture outline production structured to suit HND or HND or first year engineering student. Okay, so you see, learner, because recently I use GPT to get some of the content that refers ND, HND, and that's why it's actually targeting learners with that. So module 1, fundamentals of robotics, and this is what you expect to cover. This is module description, learning outcome, learning objectives, and student will understand what a robot is, differences distinguish between industrial and service robots, basics class, and this is activities, week 1 and week 2. Then this is module 2. So basically you see, this is an outline generated per module, and those modules were covered in terms of weeks for the student, and this summary. So basically you see, this is me using ChatGPT, a large language model, to generate a lecture outline for a course titled Introduction to Robotics. So we have how many modules? Okay, because we said 3 modules, it generated 3 modules, and expectation, these 3 modules is to be covered depending on the schedule, like 3 to 6 weeks. Okay. So that's that. Now, so you can use, we can look at this. We have the red, we have the green. Create an outline about introduction to robotics. This is normally students, like if I use this as a lecturer, create an outline about introduction to robotics. The same thing student can use to create an outline. So in this kind of regard, we are going to get similar content between me and the students. But however, like as a professional in prompt engineering, you know, I say create a written lecture outline for a 2-hour introduction to robotics for National Diploma Computer Engineering students, including learning objectives, 5 main topics with subtopics, estimated time for each section, and suggested activities. Target audience has basic programming knowledge. So you see, there's no way me and the student have the same kind of result. So this is a strong front. If you let's copy this guy and let's go back to this guy and let's put this here. Okay, and let's say this should go. So we have defined duration to our lecture. So you see prerequisite, basic programming knowledge. The initial one, there's no prerequisite because I did not provide that kind of information to the large language model. But here, I have provided that prerequisite knowledge for one to be able to take this course. So we have a lecture breakdown 2 hours, introduction to robotics 15 minutes, classification and types of robots 20 minutes, and each you have suggested activities. You can do brainstorming, peer share discussion, and multiple choice questions. Component of robotic system 30 minutes. You have mechanical, you have the sensor that understand the state of the environment, you have the actuators, you have the controllers, all this make up the robots. Basic robot control and programming concepts, application ethics and future of robotics. So each one has one time that it takes to. Then the lecture wrap-up and assessment. So basically, and these are teaching aids, and these are the learning outcome. Students should now understand what robotics is, how robots are structured, how basic programming logic controls robot behavior, and why robotics matters in computer engineering. So basically, you see, the kind of result I obtain here is different from what I earlier obtained. Why? Is because on how well I structured the prompts. So basically, there's no how I use a lecturer use a good prompt, I expect student will also use similar. So the content you will get depends on how well you structured your prompts. So basic framework, especially with context to content generation, there must be context. This context can be in terms of subject, course level, political knowledge, the audience, who are the target audience, student level, background. If they have background knowledge, you need to state that this student have social background knowledge, so at least it can be able to build upon the complexity of the material generated. Learning needs. Then the next should be scope. This scope is in terms of duration, depth, and number of topics to be generated. So at least you are not going to generate an open-ended outline. In format, you need to define the structure, sessions, and delivery methods. Then objectives, learning outcomes, and competencies. At times, you also need to define constraint, because how long is the period going to take? Time limit, resources, assessment need, and the rest are all important that you need to. So all these six items can be mapped up into the basic framework of the system. At the toughest level, we have the prompt engineering framework, which is defined into define, craft, and refine. So define, that's why you define the goal and task. You define target audience, you find the desired format. In crafting, that's why you define the context and the persona. Persona act as a professional report writer, act as a professor in the field of robotics, act as the vice chancellor of university. So that's then the instructions that you want the AI to generate. Then you need to like bring some key examples so at least it will guide the system in generating responses. When you get your output, then you need to refine, test and evaluate, iterate, optimize, and you need to go through and make sure the kind of content you obtain are actually in line with what it's expected to generate. This is basically a reusable template that person can use if you want to generate an outline. For instance, create a 2-hour duration, that's duration, a 120-minute lecture, because I put minute here, so a 120-minute or a 60-minute lecture outline on introduction to programming with Python for ND1 students of computer engineering at Nova Mali Polytechnic. Context, the course position. Is it a first semester course or a second semester course? Prerequisite, basic knowledge of algebra. For instance, audience, students have background knowledge on Kaza, but with social gaps. Then includes 5 learning objectives using Bloom's taxonomy, 3 main sections with subtopics, time allocations, teaching method suggestions, 5 examples for relevant context, for instance. Then assessment ideas, format, preferred structure, PPT format, what document format, PDF format, depending on how format, the output, how you want to get the output from the AI system. So this is an example. Create a 10-slide presentation outline for a 2-hour lecture on Introduction to Business Management for National Diploma students at Nova Mali Polytechnic. Include learning objectives, key concepts with definitions, real-world Nigerian business examples, discussion questions, summary points. Make it engaging for young adult learners. So I can go back to this, Control A, Control C. We can still use, let's use this guy. Give it to ChatGPT. I will also try, let me try Copilot or DeepSeek. Okay. Let's come here and say deepseek.com. Okay. So I just want you to go do a deep think. If you want it to search material online, you can enable. But however, once you enable search online, you cannot upload materials. So let me use this also. So before it finish, I can come back here. So below is a 10-slide presentation for a 2-hour lecture on introduction to business management. Title and introduction, this is slide page, slide 1. Title introduction. Title introduction to business management. Subtitle understanding how business are planned, organized, and run. So that's the slide. Slide 2, we have learning objectives. Slide 3, we have meaning of business. Slide 4, meaning of management. Slide 5, importance of business management. All these are outlined in PPT format. Functions of management, levels of management, business environment, discussion and case study, summary and key takeaway, and the rest. So now let's see DeepSeek. Slide 1, title and learning. So we see introduction to business management, the blueprint for success. Lobo Mali Polytechnic National Diploma Program. So at least see how the kind of different thing the two of them added. Then the learning objectives, by the end of this lecture, we'll be able to do this. Okay. Then slide 2, what is business management? Slide 3, core function, planning. Core function, organizing. Core function, leading. Core function, controlling. Business environment in Nigerian context. So you see, each of them generated differently. So you see, if you look at the two responses, GPT is too concise, while DeepSeek is trying to be like more elaborate. So depend on convenience, you can choose whichever one you prefer. So however, let's assume you created an outline. So how do I build on the outline generated? So these are some basic example of prompt that can be used. One, if you want to expand any sections in your outline, you can use this expand section 2.1 on supervised learning into the lecture notes. Include definition, real-world applications, 3 examples, simple to complex, and common misconceptions, then target 500 words that the just target was. Generating examples, you can use this command, provide 5 diverse examples of database normalization that a Nigerian undergraduate student can relate to. One from banking, education, healthcare, e-commerce, and agriculture. So this is if when you want to generate examples in your lecture notes. When you want to create analogy, create 3 analogies to explain neural networks to students with no AI background. Use everyday situations familiar to Nigerian students. So at least somebody that doesn't have the background knowledge on AI can simply adapt to this. So these are 3 basic examples of prompt that can be, because these are things, the first thing you have generated your outline, next thing is to start expanding content sections. So with this, you can expand section, you can be able to generate examples, and you can add analogies so that at least basically, analogies where they find importance is at the point of course introduction. So at least, if let's say for instance, a course that students have fears on, so you can create an analogy to simplify and make it easier for students to understand. This thing is nothing. Once you open your mind and you follow and you keep practice, you get it. So that's a good place where you create an analogy and make life easier for students to understand. So with this, you can practice this as an activity. You pick any course you teach, for this a 3 to 6 module outline, refine it using at least 2 follow-up prompts. Basically, 2 follow-up prompt is the follow-up prompts are either you expand section of the outline, or you generate example, or you get analogies. Now, you can also use AI to generate detailed explanations, definitions, case studies, tables, and practice questions. All this can be generated using AI. This is a sample plot. Because you have already generated the outline, develop module 1 into a full lecture note with diagrams, examples, and end of topic questions. So let's see if I copy this command and I use ChatGPT and I paste it here. Let's see what happened. So you see, it's generating lecture notes because that's what we ask it to do naturally. Okay. So other things that you can do, you can enrich your material by asking AI to provide real life example, blah, blah, blah. Add a label axis diagram, create comparison table, generate 5 MCQs with answers. Let's say I copy this. Okay, this is still generating. Okay, let me stop this guy. Thank you for what you have done. I want you to do something different. Generate 5 MCQs with answers. 2 simple questions. 2 moderate questions, and 1 difficult. Okay, basically. So at least it can make students like those, basically, because some questions everybody should be able to answer. Some of the questions is have to like reach another level. Some of the questions have to reach a different stage. So you see, the first one, which the first one is business can best be defined as simple. Which of the following is a service business? The main purpose of management. Which of this is not a function of management? Which Nigerian business is an example of manufacturing business? So you see, now it has go away from the content of material to a real world scenario, basically. I don't know when I ask you to use audio. Okay. So kindly, if you have a question, use the chat. You can drop it in via the chat if you have any question for you to answer. So demo flow, you can paste your chosen module, request detailed note, add example diagram based on those simple commands we give. And you can also select one topic from the outline, generate 1 to 2 pages of lecture note, and add at least 1 example and 1 diagram. AI-powered slide design. We have 3 main tools that you can use to do that. You can use Canva AI design suggestion template, and Magic Write. Magic Write is very interesting to use Magic Write. It also behaves like normally if you're using ChatGPT or Copilot, ChatGPT or Claude, slide content generation and structure planning, Gamma or Beautiful.ai, AI-powered presentation. So, workflow example, you can generate slide with ChatGPT, or you can generate slide outline with ChatGPT. You can now expand bullet points still using ChatGPT or using DeepSeek. You can design in Canva with AI template, take a template and paste your outline there and it generate. And you can enhance with AI generated images. So use let's say Gemini to generate image or Copilot to generate image and integrate into your slides. So we look at with Canva. Canva is a good way to start generating slides. It do auto slide generation, suggested layout, image and icon generation, theme customization, institutional branding. Even though some of the features for pro version is not for free. So workflow, you can do texts. From the text, you can do Canva design. In Canva design, you can design poster. You just put the template and you build on it. You can build slides and you can download. So features, we have Magic Write. Magic Write is basically a text generation. So you can use Magic Write to generate outline, just the way we generate outline using ChatGPT. Magic Design is for use. You can also use to generate layout of your presentation or your postcard design. You can do text to image, bring text and generate an image. And you can also do background remover. All these are features that you have to do. You can only do them when you are using the Pro version. So this is an example on how to use the magic Canva. So before we have a question, is there a limit to the length of prompts? So far, there's no limit. You can sit down and write a well prompt that you think can give you the best result that you need. You can just if you are giving a course, you can just use your phone, snap the syllabus, and just upload to AI and say generate your prompts using the attached document, generate an outline of presentation, generate a comprehensive lecture notes with examples, or generate exam question based on this syllabus. Quite sure you can do that. How to use Magic Write? You create or open an existing design. Select the Canva assistant button on the bottom right hand corner of the page. In a Canva doc, select the icon plus icon. Enter or describe the text you want to generate. For example, getting started with prompt engineering. One thing you should know, the more detailed you are in providing the prompt, the better the AI gets response. And that's why if you are economically in the use of words, you cannot get as good result as somebody that is well in writing his prompts. Then if you need to add keywords, make sure you add them to your sentence. Once you are happy, click enter and you see the magic of Canva. So this is how we can use prompt in magic activities. So students will be able to, because it's the magic right, you use it in terms of activities, not in terms of the way you use ChatGPT or any other large language models. So it comes in terms of activity. Students will be able to, what is the action? Evaluate, create, analyze, discuss about, then you define the topic. This helps the AI understand the desired learning outcome and generate an aligned activity based on that outcome, what the student need. For instance, student will be able to explore the life cycle of a frog. Student will be able to analyze the causes of World War One. Student will be able to compare plant and animal cells. So this, when you give this, you will see how the system can be able to generate things for you. To stop learning verbs, always the main focus should be on Bloom's taxonomy. Analyze, compare, evaluate, investigate, design, create, synthesize. This is what are very important when you want to use the magic, right? So where you have the action verb, you should use what from the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. Key prompts are specific and focused on one learning goal. The more specific your topic, the more tailored the activity will be. For instance, a good one, students will be able to evaluate the impact of deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Two broad, students will be able to learn about the environment. Which environment are we thinking about? Because the word environment is too broad. So basically, these will not make the AI to generate a focus activity for the students. So create effective prompt for magic activities. Create content with magic design. Okay, before we do that, let's try to explore there. Okay. Okay, let's come here. I say canva.com/AI. Just go to canva.com/AI. Okay, so I will use this first. Just like a magic, right? I will go back to any of my earlier presentation to create an outline. Let's use this guy. Let's use this and see. Let's come back here and let's paste this here. We click go. So see my outline coming in. Okay, so you see, Introduction to Business Management, duration 2 hours, National Diploma student, no money polytechnic there, similar to what I have in DeepSeek. Slide 1, course overview and learning outcome. This is it. Engagement activity, quick poll. What comes to mind when hearing the word management? So understand business management. So all this. And the beauty about this is that you can use this, we call it editor. Now you can try to edit some of the content generated. If you're not okay with it, you can edit, do everything, and click here to change the kind of fonts that you want to use. Let me see Arial. Okay, it's Arial. Yeah, now it's in Arial. If I need to bold anything, I can bold, centralize, do whatever I want to do, test color. If you don't want that one, click here to generate a color. Okay, I can use green. Okay, if you have a color, you can choose. So naturally, and if you have a brand color, you can also add basically this about this. If you want to add anything, click here and add. So this. Now let's go back. So at least we have generated an outline using the magic right. So however, let's assume you are here and you want to design. So you click on this. Design means you want to select a template of what you want to do. So you just come here, copy introduction to management and paste it here. I want to use a normal design. So you can say this to generate. So these are any design that you think will suit you. If you didn't find any format you want, just say generate design. So this will build, will generate a design of, yeah, you see, let me click, no, either replace what I have initially, or no, I want to add it as a new page. So this will go to page 2. So introduction to business management. Double click to edit this. Whatever you want to double click and edit, you can change a lot of things. What is business management? So you see, like just like if you want to design a flyer and the rest, change color, do whatever you want to do. If you're not okay with it, delete and the rest. So this is basically what you do in design. And anything you want to do, you can edit. You can edit anything. All the content generated, you can be able to edit it and change whatever you want to change and add whatever you want to add in the results before even exporting. So now, once you are okay, click share. And if you want to share the link, share link. If you want to download, click on download. I will download as a PDF. See pages, 1 to 2 page. If you want page 1 only, select page 1. If you want the 2, select 1 to 2 page. And once you download, this should download the page 1 and page 2 I initially generated. Yeah, download it. It has opened. So this is the first page generated. And then we can see the second one coming on. This is the second page generated. Okay. So in terms, so the magic design is very good in developing posters, presentations, flyers, and social media posts. Anything you want to do, you can use the magic design. If you want this one, if you want to upload image, you can upload image and ask AI to do for you. Okay, let's click on this plus. Okay, if you want to search other templates. Okay, so let me see. Going back to design. No. Okay, let me see if I want to go back home. want to go back home. Okay, click on create. If I click on create, if I want to do create a design, these are templates. If it's educational, click on educational and to bring template that has to be educational. And whichever one you selected, either it's an education presentation, worksheet, portrait, educational video, you can check all of them. And these are samples one you can adopt, whichever one you suit you. Whatever one you pick it. So, but for now, that's where I want to go. I want to use Magic Write. So this is Magic Write because that's what we just concluded. So describe your writing tasks. So we can now go back to here and say, and use this guy. Student will be able to differentiate between plant and animal cells, pests. Click enter. So this is Magic Write. Okay. Once you're okay with your output, click enter or click insert. Once you're okay with the output, just do whatever. You can edit here, change whatever you want to change at this stage. But once you are done, you click enter and it integrated into the template, exploring the cell wall. So check, go down, same thing. You can get, this is your results of what generated. So basically this is just Magic Write. Give the tags and the system will generate everything for you. Once done, export. So I think done. So some of the flow units you can take copy lecture note from ChatGPT. You can paste into Canva, make into Canva for Magic under Magic Drive for your design. Allow Canva to generate slides, replace visuals with AI images and branding. These are some of the prompts you can use to generate PPT present generation. Create 15 PowerPoint slides. Okay, let's now try to use Copilots. Let's try to use Copilots. Let's try to use Copilot to generate a presentation. Before then, we can pass this to ChatGPT. We can pass it here. We can also go back here. Okay, Copilot is not ready. We can come here, paste it here, and where are we? Okay, if you are okay, generate design or click enter to create a sample template of the magic design. Okay, this is Copilot, pastes, and then click enter. Let's start with ChatGPT. Still thinking. Okay, we are done. So now, once I have this, okay, it's still coming on. See, if you want, I can turn this into fully formatted PowerPoint slide content. Okay, I can say generate a downloadable link okay. So this should give me a link that I can download this slide if I'm okay with it. Okay. Let's come here. What do I have here? Okay, this is not ready. This is it. This is what it generated. Add a new slide. Introduction to data structures. Slide 2. This is just like the outline generated by GPT. So, but this using the magic design to do this. If you're not okay with that design, you can go ahead and select any template and regenerate again. Whatever template you select, generate, and it generates the result based on that template. Okay. Okay, so this is what this generated. Okay, a little bit. So naturally, these are slide in my presentation on cloud computing suggest relevant visuals. All these things can be used to improve. Convert this detailed lecture note into 5 slides with clear headings and 3 to 4 concise bullets. So these are some of the examples of prompts you can use to generate a presentation. So best practice and integrity. When using AI, it's really important to always verify the content accuracy. Cross check textbooks or reputable sources. At times, it's very important for us to avoid embarrassment. You should always know that AI hallucinates, so avoid hallucination in AI. So that's why at times you need to ask AI to cite references or provide evidence where it generates its content. Okay. So ethical usage, acknowledge AI assistance, avoid using AI to fabricate data, maintain originality. Improve prompting, give contents, constraint, examples, and refinement instruction, at least be able to get a good quality result from AI. As an exercise, you can use any large language model to create a lecture outline, generate a 10-minute PowerPoint content, write a voiceover script, record narration using PowerPoint, export the slide as video, and submit there for final output. So basically, I think this is all we have today, and thank you for being with me.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very, very interesting, wallahi. Gaskiya, I know the participants are also overwhelmed with the skills that you have shown in utilization and application of these marvelous tools in creating academic resources. Thank you very much for finding time to be with us. So time for, please, our technical officer, Malaruna, please unmute participants so that they can ask the doctor. But my first question before participant, doctor, this Canva, is it free of charge?
Yeah, it's free of charge. The only thing is that you have limitation in some of the things you can do, but free of charge.
Okay.
The free version you can do. For instance, now there are things that there are templates that, and that's why you see throughout my demonstration I didn't use a template. There are templates that if you use them, they will tell you that you can only do that if you can only use them when you're using the Pro, and even the quality result you obtain, you see it will be interesting. So that's why most of the time I try to avoid using their own template. I always ask the template for my own consumption. Because it's free of charge. Magic Write is free. Magic Design is free. So other things that you may end up doing, you have to extend to the Pro version.
Okay. So one can go to Google Store, Google Play, and download
yes,
the app.
Canva.
Is it an app?
Yes. Yeah, you have a mobile app for the Canva. You can use it as a web also.
Okay.
Yes.
Then we have another question here. Can we use AI to help people make better decisions by analyzing data? Is there in our chat?
The issue now with respect to analyzing data, at times we can use it, it can do analysis, give you results. But however, if data that has to do with privacy and the rest, now you have already exposed it to the world. So it has to be like a contextual issue that it's just maybe an open data you can get anywhere. Quickly do it, it will do analysis. You can solve problem, you can generate let's say for instance, I don't know if you are still seeing my screen.
Yeah, we are seeing it.
Okay, I can say write a MATLAB program to simulate a unicycle model, like a wheel of a car, just a wheel of a car, to analyze the behavior of the wheel of a car. You know, you need to determine the position of the wheel of a car at any time instance. So it will actually do this for you and generate the results. What's just happening? So basically, my advice is if those data that are publicly available, you can actually upload to AI and it's just an analysis, even generate the result for you. All you need to do is just go and edit some of the things that you edit, and you have everything for presentation.
Okay.
So it just give me the equations of the model I asked to develop, and look at the MATLAB program. So when you take this and put in MATLAB and run, you just see the results displaying basically. And you can edit a lot of things. So that's all. So if I copy this code, and just go to any software and Matter software and run this, you will see the result I will get. So you can actually use it for analysis. But however, my advice is that always use the public available data set, especially maybe data that has to do with privacy information of somebody. Once you use them in any large language model, this means you make it available.
Okay. Okay. Alpha Aisha Luladam, you are okay with the answer. So the next question is saying, is there a limit to the length of a prompt?
There's no limit to the length of the prompt. You can write, take your time, write. Make it as much as possible. Include whatever you want to include, so that at least the system will understand who you are and to whom are you generating the content for. Take your time, right? At times you can even install a prompt maker. Let me say, for instance, I think I have prompt maker. Let me see. Yeah. So for instance, you can install prompt maker and ask prompt maker, for instance, to optimize the following prompts. Let's say, getting started prompt engineering. You have reached your limits. Sorry, I can't use it. So if you use this, it will, you see how long it's going to generate the prompt for you. So all you need to do is that if you are here, just click this icon and let me see. Okay, this one is chat.go. Okay, so maybe you go to apps and search. So you come here and search prompt maker. Chat with you. I don't have it here. I don't forget where I get it. Either is it in app? Where? So like all these apps, the apps they can be integrated to your ChatGPT. I think it's the app. I think maybe you can check your own. Just click here and see if you can be able to search for things. So from there, I think you can search for FrameMaker and you can integrate it to your GPT. So once you ask to automate any prompt, you will see how length is going to generate that prompt, and to do it in such a way that it's going to make the prompt comprehensive. Anything that needs to be done by the AI, it will explain it bit by bit. Let me see if I can get any, no, if I have anyone. Um, I don't know whichever one. I don't think I have once I use it. So, but otherwise, you should have seen how the kind of font it can generate. Let's see. No, it's not this. For instance, let me copy this and let me output a Word document. See this. Act as a senior academic researcher, PhD supervisor, and computational electromagnetic expert with extensive experience in physical optics, physical theory, and reflector antenna modeling for doctoral level research. Your objective is to produce a highly rigorous PhD grade methodology. So you see all these tags step by step. How many pages? Almost 2 pages of prompt. So basically, you should take your time, write as much as you can. It doesn't matter. There's no limit to the length of resources required.
Thank you very much, Doctor. The second part of his question is saying, can I just upload the whole syllabus for a semester or session? I request for a comprehensive lecture notes and examination questions.
Yes, you can actually do that, but you can actually do that in the same prompts. And you can say you want to in the prompt, you can say you want to generate the lecture note on weekly basis or on daily basis. So it can only generate, like saying, for instance, you can generate for day one. If you are done, go and use it. You can say, okay, move to day two, or you can generate the entire content at the same time and also generate the questions at the same time. But however, for exam questions, always try to use the upload icon. It's important to use the upload icon. For instance, you come here and upload. Sorry, okay, I don't even see it. So where you can upload material is really important. It's really important to actually upload materials that you want to generate a question from. So at least the AI system cannot generate question external to the material. So when you generate your lecture note, then ask the ASM to strictly generate the questions from that material. And don't just say ask questions. You need to like a little bit be professional. Either create 5 scenario questions, 2 project-based questions, or whatever how you can put it, so at least it will not be as simple as the way student can as well guess from using the AI.
Okay. So thank you very much. Okay. Participant, you can use your mic and ask question, please. 1 or 2, because we just have 5 minutes to run it up. So if you have any questions, any doubt, any confusions, or any clarifications, Doctor is with us in the next 3 to 4 minutes, please. Okay, Doctor, I can see that you used ChatGPT Canva, DeepSeek. What of Gemini, uh, Grok? I know also cannot be used in production of these academic resources.
Yeah, for instance, now if I need to generate, especially now because the latest upgrade to ChatGPT can also create image, but majorly I create image using Gemini. Gemini is also good. And one thing with Gemini, at times I don't have option. I use Gemini, especially if I'm using Google, because once you are Googling something, the first result you see is from Gemini. So at times you get tempted to use Gemini. But in terms of quality of results you obtain and how comprehensive all this the quantity of how the script is going to be generated. At times I prefer to use DeepSeek if I want like a volume of notes. If I'm preferring like concise output, I always use the ChatGPT. Gemini is also good. Grok is also good. So it all depends on, because at times you cannot be using them at the same time. So it's same on the need and the requirements. Normally, Gemini I use for image generation, so it's very good in doing that. But the latest version of GPT also can also generate images, but it depends on how and where and when you can use this. Even in preparing this material, first I design the template using Slide Master. So if you go slideshow, okay, so if you go to view, you use Slide Master. So this is Slide Master. So I use Slide Master to design this presentation. That's why if I go to the topest level, I can be able to select the picture because I insert the picture. But outside this presentation, you can't select this picture. Also, the background here is coming as a picture. The background is like a picture. You see it. It's like a picture that I inserted as a shape with the color. So basically, and this is a text white background. So I do this design via the Slide Master. So, but in terms of content generation, some of the content were generated using GPT, some using Copilot, some using DeepSeek, and the rest. So basically, whichever one I see, I got better result. I just pick and put it through.
Doctor, please, I think maybe the last questions. You see, now some of our institutions are facing scarcity of funds to
Come again?
handle some institutions nowadays
Yes.
are facing fund scarcity. That is money to handle a lot of academic activities such as practical for students. So some of these institutions are resolving to, please, Aruna, please mute that noisemaker. Please mute your mic, please. So, Doctor, what I'm saying is some of our institutions are not having the financial capability to handle practicals.
Yes,
So
sir.
some of these institutions are resolving to generating videos to illustrate some simple techniques, some simple illustrations for concept and some other thing as such. Can we use this AI to generate such kind of materials for our students?
Yeah, there are strictly AI models that are used for video creation. So I think maybe I don't know what happened. I will update this content and make it like an elaborate one so actually somebody can follow the commands.
Okay.
You can actually generate. What you do is that you generate the text. You can generate your text and then paste your text, and it will do everything. The voiceover, everything it will do for you. And you just export the video. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, sir.
So maybe can participant know the element? Maybe or the or
okay. I think I forget to do one. Okay, let me see. I think I have one here. Guess what? I think I put. Let me see, where are you? This one here.
Please, participant, you can forward your question to doctor. Please, this is an opportunity for us to learn a lot from professionals.
Let me see.
Well, maybe doctor, since you are going to provide us
Yeah.
the material, maybe by the time you got it.
This is it. You can use Pictoria, you can use Synthesia. Especially these two, they are easy to go. The Synthesia, the beauty about Synthesia, you can choose avatar. It means like it's not like human being that will do that. It's an avatar that will make the presentation. So these two, I know I use them. They are really interesting.
Okay.
Pictoria.ai and Synthesia.
Okay. Are they also free? You know,
Yeah, they are
how much?
free. They are
Okay,
free.
they're free.
Yeah, they are free.
Okay.
Yeah, they are free.
So the last question, Aisha is asking, how does the AI align with curriculum standards or learning outcomes?
Yeah. Yeah, AI does not, okay, AI is a system. Like first, the way we use this AI, there are systems. So garbage in, garbage out. Okay. So you have let's say for instance, if you have your own curriculum, because the curriculum has already been defined, these are things that are expected to be covered for this and this. So it means you need to define all those things in your prompts. So what you are actually giving the system is the curriculum of a particular course or for a particular class for a particular level. And that's why we say you have to define the targeted students. So at least because you need to know the students you are developing those material for. For how many duration are you doing the course? Is it a course for a 14-hour course, 2 hours weekly basis? Uh, the format is going to be a module-based format. Is it going to be a PPT format? Is it going to be a slide-based format? All those things. Then the content as defined in the curriculum, you have to define them the way the curriculum is being defined. So that is what will guide the AI system to generate content for you according to the curriculum you are using. For instance, let me say, define picture to my daughter in primary 4. So see, picture, the way a student will understand what a picture is, different from a lady or a child in normally primary school. So you see, a picture is a drawing, painting, or photo that shows what something looks like. So you see, because of the class I define, the AI system already know the targeted person I'm after. But if I said this to higher education students, so you see, a picture is a visual representation of a subject, object, scene. Now it doesn't go as low as because of the level of the student I am after. So I cannot go to a national diploma student and the one or in the two HND student and start saying that a picture is a drawing, painting, or photo. It doesn't. They'll just be laughing. But if I tell them a picture is a visual representation of a subject, it's a model. So they will now try to like at their level, they will know that yeah, I'm actually at their level. So basically, the prompt you write is what defines the curriculum you are working on.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's already you have already added even 6 minutes. Thank you very much for. I know how tight the schedule is for you, and
Somebody
despite the
said, you have one
fact.
question, sir.
Okay, okay, Tom.
How can we
Okay,
make AI to incorporate calculations and equations for engineering courses that deals with calculations? Okay.
that is a very good one.
I am teaching introduction to differentiation and integration for ND1 students at Nuhu Polytechnic. Generates a lecture notes, exam examples, simpler to, let's say, difficult, simple, difficult. Let me say simple to difficult. Okay, so for instance, let's do this. So you see the equations, product and quotient rule. It's explaining product and quotient rule. All I will do is I'll come here, highlights, Control C. Let me go. I can say what. This is if I want to go analog. If I want to go analog. Because I can actually ask it to generate a word format and just do Control V. You see them? In Word document. The same thing if you paste them in PPT, they will appear like this, as if you type the equations in the document. And with this one, I am trying to be analog, copy and paste. You can just tell the AI system, generate a word format document, generate it in a downloadable Word document. It will just generate a link and you download the link. So look at example. Example, simple. Y equals to 5s cubed, y prime equals to 15s squared, moderate and rest. So you can see integration and all these things. So if you like, you can say generate it in a PDF format, generate it in a Word format, in a downloadable Word format, in a PPT presentation. It will convert everything into that, whatever format you define.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Is somebody trying to ask questions? I can see the curiosity. If we say we have to go by, it's very interesting, gaskiya. Very practical, hand-on training. So that is why I believe if we allow participants, they will be asking questions till
We will
maybe
not
sai bayan
leave.
sallar ishe. Da
Bara mu
gaskiya.
tafi a kasa.
And kai kuma kila za ka je taron siyasa.
Ba mutanen siyasa sa.